I am, yeah. Yo, it would be nuts if they just change things up and just say, "Oh, here we go again." Oh, it's like
It's the stare down.
It's the stare down.
Woohoo!
This happened in the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Come on, Light.
He does not blink.
Light, blink, please.
Why'd you turn him around?
No, let him be.
Oh, that's interesting. Now we've shook things up. It's a Bruno now, and the Kufra getting locked in here. So I like that we're seeing more Brunos. It spices up the meta, it spices up the picks and the playstyle. Onic, they want to end this quickly. That's what you get with the Bruno. If ever they pair it with a right mid laner.
Man, earlier today we saw just turret destroyer Bruno.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because that was just like if you can play the gold lane like that and just focus on getting turrets down, then yeah, it works wonders. But obviously too, when he locks in the 2 items, usually I would say what? The Hazklaw's second item would be is it the Berserker's Fury that they typically go for, Renmar?
Yeah.
So, you know, those 2 alone is already respectable damage from Bruno. And I feel like, you know, obviously they're going to have to keep their tabs on that for RSG. But their last pick with the first phase, they take in the Lancelot here.
Yeah, and another thing that I like the Bruno, other than his raw damage, you mentioned something about the turret breaking.
Yeah.
It's because now teams are also understanding the importance of trading either the second or the third turtle. Whether instead of you going for the turtle, you go and push elsewhere, you help and supplement the gold laner, who, because has a lot of damage in the Bruno, you're able to take down turrets real quick, and you get on almost like 80% or 85% of the time a sure trade where you get a tower instead of the turtle.
Yeah. Look at that. The stare down. As Renmar discussed it properly. He's just looking at you, man.
It's Snapdragon Pro Series all over again.
He's just completely looking at us on our screen.
There legit was a time where he just stared at the camera for like 3-4 minutes.
Wow.
Without blinking. I am not kidding.
Purely skill.
Yeah, I remember then the production team whispered in our ears, guys, is this really happening?
they need to double check.
They didn't know if it was like frozen on the screen.
Yeah, we also had to check with them, like, are you sure the screen's not frozen? And we got a confirmation. No, it's not.
You see one little strand of hair just like flow in the wind.
Yeah.
Even by just like you question even if the camera production is working.
That's how you know. It's been
it's just like doing his own things.
And, you know, speaking of that, I will say again, Light is always, and maybe this is for most roamers, but Light in particular, and the reason why he was, you know, the season MVP back in Season 9 is, again, he is such an anchor for any of the iterations that we've seen from RSG Philippines. And, you know, obviously it's a big thing that can be even said for Rapidu, but I just feel like most of what we see from RSG Philippines is really playing around kind of that roam pressure, obviously, that he puts out here.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of roam pressure, they denied the Harith from game number 1. Oh, sorry, man. They take out the Gord as well. Because on the first part, when we were discussing what could actually pop up in the mid lane or even for Aqua, I was thinking about the Kadita if they're onto the blue side, because that makes total sense because of how Rapid is gaining control mostly on the team fights.
Yep.
I want to see Kadita back again on the map. Especially I use her in most of my games, and that's just a clear way to just completely burst on everybody and invade. And a good thing also to put out is the XP lane ban. The respect also for the EXP laner, which they use on for Nath, since we're not sure yet if what is the role of Edith as of this point.
Yeah, I think it's like that's most likely going to be going on the EXP lane. The gold laner might get picked up here. They can just go ahead and pick up in Beatrix and then just surprise with their roamer pickup if they want to. With Beatrix still wide open, the safest pick they could go for. They need a little bit more sustained damage. Right now it's a lot of burst. Sustain, a good amount also coming in from the...
Yo!
It's Ixia!
Finally!
I did not expect Ixia.
This is why I love where we currently are in the meta, man. I mean, first Gord, now Ixia. Let's go, right? I'm sure there's some Ixia mains out there that are like, yeah!
just cheering.
That's exactly how they sound, right? That's just what I picture. I mean, it could be someone else. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice when the Gord pop up.
Yeah, no, that's the Gord.
Yeah.
You would think it was a string on the guitar. No, it was his voice.
Yeah.
So, Ixia, like, I personally have not seen her in competitive play for the most part, unless she's popped up in another region that I missed that game. Redmar, have you seen her pop up somewhere?
In a game, no, but yeah, and that surprised me that they picked an Ixia knowing that something like a Farza is still open. And now they're really just gonna have to maximize being able to provide space for this Ixia. This lineup puts a lot of pressure on the EXP and the Roam, which has to be tanky here.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's gonna be, and actually a Roam Edith.
Yeah.
And an XP lane Terizla.
I was feeling that. At the moment they banned out the Kaditan as well as the Gord.
Yeah. So now they need to make sure that they have their timings right to provide space for the Ixia because she's so static in her positioning. She's like an Eve marksman version.
Eve marksman version. You know, and it's funny too because she works off like Starlium stacks or something like that. I think it's called like
Siphon
Starlium or something like that. So then, we were just talking about the Starlium Scythe
She's
earlier.
responsible. She brought the item here. The Starlium Scythe.
She's all about that Starlium. You know? And so Same feels. Same, bro. You know, when you see the hero for the first time pop up in competitive play, your brain starts thinking, how is this really going to work out? Because again, we've seen this with some of these heroes that pop up for the first time in competitive play. They don't work out the best, but this is a great change up in the gold lane. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 3 here, second series of opening day. We'll see if RSG Philippines can close it out or if it's Onic Philippines.
Let's run down the heroes again real quick. This is Nets with a signature Bruno. One of the more memorable plays of MPL Philippines Season 10 was his solo split push as a Bruno. So you know he's comfortable with that. And Escalera on a Farsa, one of his deadliest choices in the mid lane. And Eman already brought super low up against that Bruno. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, RSG actually countered.
He gave Eman a really super low HP and forced out a flicker.
Yeah.
That's crucial, actually. You know, in the course of this early game, and knowing that you don't have that available now.
Rapidu just bouncing onto Nats here, 2 versus 2. Nats falls down. Escalera takes a kill. It's 1-1.
Okay, so now both teams, I feel like, learned a lot from each other from game 1 and game number 2. They're a little bit more confident in terms of being aggressive earlier on, putting 2 or even 3 members onto a specific lane just to force them back. Like what RSG did here, because of Nets doing that to Eman, they needed to balance that somewhat by stacking members on there to force back Eman and get Nets and get a little bit more lane control there for Eman. So I like that these two teams now much more confident in their movements because they understand each other more.
Oh, good follow-up and good game sense there. Light and Irad knew that was just Rapidude looking for a great vision for his team in this early game. Look at the Horizon, though, using Thorn Rose, trying to poke it. Okay. Flicker out.
Yeah, that's
Light.
That's crucial because not only that, but there's multiple flickers still down here for RSG. This first turtle coming up, they might just opt to give it away, right? Unless they're really confident. Forcing a fight, probably not going to happen. You can see them even being put at bay here by Rapidude.
Rapidude, the 1v1 versus Light. Now look at the knockup. Terrifying. Look at that damage. Just connecting onto Rapidude. Irad secures the kill. Meanwhile, we have Ryzen. You're getting busy with this turtle now. I think it's RSG securing the first objective. Light, though, still a good way of advancing with the vision, too.
Yeah, Onic being able to secure the first turtle of that game. Aqua being brought down low. Still an invasion here.
Speaking of vision, look at that. Look, another follow-up knock-up onto Ryzen. Lights still being taunted down by this Fred. Okay, going back to that point, Renmar, go ahead.
Yeah, how Onic set themselves up there because them being able to force out the flicker onto Light. Did we go back to the future?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what the Starlium does, man.
Wow, we are the Starlium boys.
Whoa! RSG now. Yeah, they could not get anywhere near that turtle, and this is now what we're going to be seeing here. Will Onic do what they did in game number 2 and instead go for that second turtle? Just help Nets get out of lane. Will they commit like a 3-4 man rotation onto Nets' lane so that they can push Eman back, get that, and just give the next turtle to RSG?
Oh, good usage there of the Thorn Rose evading Rapidude's possible setup.
Yeah, and even Irad also got the Litho Wanderer there.
Oh, sweet. Irad looking at his eyes onto these objectives. That's just completely a good way to just win that against a Kufra.
And now the next sequence. Yeah, I think now with how Onic are jockeying for position, they might be considering it. They're looking for more information though of who else is gonna show themselves up in the top lane.
Yep.
If they don't see enough, they might pull the trigger and just go ahead, ultra fast, go up top.
Wow, Cram sustaining 3. Aqua, look at that. The pokes right onto this Uranus. Now Irad secures the kill with the Thorn Rose. Not be able to escape that one. That was 3 though.
It's a lot of response, from RSG Philippines for the most part, finding what they can and also putting pressure of their own around the map because, that's what you expect. Now that these teams have literally duked it out for, 2 games now, and you mentioned it, Renmar, they learned a lot from those alone. You're seeing the fruits of that labor, right, for the most part. Now you want to be able to see them actually contest the remaining 2 turtles here, and RSG is in a great position to do so. They just got to be able to pull it off. But look at this, Irad's not even near it, right? So looks like they got the call. Give it up. They might just be looking for kills where they can be.
Yeah, actually, the reason why RSG cannot contest this turtle is that earlier, if there was an invasion by Ryzen, trying to force out the flicker from Irad, and Irad had to use the flicker just so he could get that purple buff.
Speaking of buffs here, no contention. Oh, look at the knockup, look at the hug. Right onto Irad, now he escapes the Thorn Rose. Puncture away. Okay, maintaining the distance. Onic on this response, man. 3-man rotation onto this river.
It's only a matter of time before moments like that actually convert into kills, right? Because especially with the fact that, for Escalera, he only has, I believe it is, the Clock of Destiny. That's about all he has for now. So the scaling obviously will really help him in his favor as the minutes go by, especially when he's locked in his next items. And setups like that from Rapidoot are going to be a big threat, right? So RSG Philippines has to be able to find their own, obviously. And one thing that we always see from Terizlas, man, is those kind of plays, right? The penalty zone, the flicker combinations. For the most part, you want to see them offensively, not on the defense, right? So hopefully they find that. But now, attention at the top.
Eman being bursted down by the feathered airstrike, but he still sustains. Ryzen, though, trying to secure the skill. He's still maintaining it. No. Ryzen secures the point, but Onic Philippines, though, and another exchange as well. 1-to-1, Rapidoot. The other hand fall down in the hands of Onic. Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, on the mid, Irad versus Ryzen. And also Cram. Just rotating quickly as things go and happen up top.
Oh, this is fishy for him.
Oh, he's not go yet. Okay, Irad.
Oh, smooth.
Moves and grooves.
Moves and grooves there by Irad to get away. And actually there that pick off up top eventually. Onic just had to throw bodies at that point to take Eman down. Here in the bottom lane though, in RSG continue to throw bodies towards Cram because they need to get Nats out of the lane.
Ooh, okay. Thank you for that pokes, Irad and Nats just completely Cram rejoicing and holding on this lane. Meanwhile, the Escalera using the feather airstrike onto Aqua, trying to peel and lure him out of his own turret.
Yeah.
Objective though, we have taken down turret by Nets. Meanwhile, this objective would be so crucial, but Ryzen secures it in the midst of RSG. Irad though didn't have a chance. Nats flickers out for safety. Meanwhile, that's the hold, that's the slow. Onto 2, onto 1. Nats though, he's not gonna escape that one. Ryzen secures the kill.
Tough to get out of that one, right? And still, they're gonna have to deal with some of this pressure. Again, Onic Philippines clean sweeping those turtles there. So it was RSG Philippines that was like, yeah, I'll just give them up. We don't really want to contest them. We want to find things where we can, but that just hasn't really, come to light right now. And at the same time, Nets is in a similar position when what we've seen from Bruno before, where you just get to go ahead and knock down these turrets, right? And just continue to scale up really well. He's almost on to that second damage item that he needs, has those Hask Claws already.
Yeah.
So, this is troublesome.
Yeah, on the way to the Fury, Berserker's Fury, and the RSG. At this point now, it's just all about Eman. It's all about Eman. Net's getting his item. And now it's all about the marksman, not just Eman, but both marksmen now. Because the rest of the game just went so well for Onic. As for the marksman for both teams. For Onic to finish it, for RSG to make a comeback.
Will this be a comeback though? Look at the force. 2 ultimates used by 2 mid laners here for RSG and Onic. Just gaining coverage, but meanwhile when that is happening, Onic is just taking down this turret up top, and Nets completely taken the second turret up top as well.
So fast.
Just the destroyer, man.
The balls of this Bruno.
Yeah. The ball on that Bruno.
The balls on that Bruno. The damage. The damage of Bruno right now completely rising on the meta.
Oh man, RSG. They're gonna make a comeback out of this. It'll have to be with how they did it in the past 2 games, making the most out of an Onic mistake. But we talked about it. These two have learned a lot from each other after the first 2 games, and that's gonna be Cram.
There we go. Light secures him. He's not going to be able to escape that one. Nats taking him down. He was just too deep in between 2 turrets.
Cram.
Oh, meanwhile, Onic is here right onto the death bush. That's a setup coming from Rapidude, but then responds. Coming from the burst, Emma using that ultimate, and that is completely full barrage onto the marksman of Onic. Now that's 1 member left. Rapidude. Onic Philippines fall down to their own trap.
Now you're wondering what happened, Cram. Like, I mean, that started the whole thing. And Ray Renmar, you called this. You're like, now RSG just has to make punish a mistake from Onic Philippines. I would say that was a mistake from Onic Philippines.
That was the worst case of caster's curse I've ever seen in my entire life. We just said it. And
meanwhile, while you were saying it, they were zoomed in on Cram, literally recalling.
Cram was in between 2 turrets, just standing there, like, hey, oh, I'm gone. And for some reason, the rest of Onic was like, yo, let's help him. Oh, we're gone. And perplexing. I am at a loss for words, scratching my head there. But no, RSG, they can rejoice. They made the right call. They were like, oh, he's down. Oh, let's push it forward. And we can continue this now. And Onic have just all their hard work gone in a snap.
Oh, that's not looking good. They don't need to blink, but Rapidude has a catch, though. That's the taunt. Where's the follow-up, though? The penalty zone onto 1. Iran is on a killing spree. But meanwhile, at the back, we are seeing Cram, though. Oh, Rapidude fall down. He wanted to have a set, but RSG had a good amount of burst to respond.
See, that's where you're seeing kind of the Ixia shine a little bit. I know it's taken some time to get online, but when you're fighting front forward like that, it's tough. Right now, they're focusing. They get the tier 2 down. Emon is just picking up the Malefic Roar, so that's going to help even more. But, so now if you're Onic Philippines, again, when it comes to these defensive fights, and you're dealing with this kind of front threat, really. I mean, especially with the way that the starting and marks work and everything, it's kind of tough to deal with, right? Especially when you have when Nets is on this Bruno, now it's time where, like, all right, you have to go from being the demolisher to now you have to start getting these kills, right? He does pick up his own Malefic Roar, so that's great. But again, you're working around kind of getting through that front line, really.
Yeah, Aqua's having a hell of a game right now. 8 assists, no kills, but no deaths. A very clean Valentina game for him. And Onic, they need to change their approach now and acknowledge the reality of Emman's full barrage on the Ixia hurts. If they don't get the setup that they want or the start that they want, where it acknowledges the presence and location of the Ixia to give it a hard time to free hit, it's not going to go well for your team. They have the right tools to make it difficult for the Ixia, but now they have to acknowledge as well that RSG, they will just throw bodies at Onic. They have the Lance, they have a Valentina who is okay. She's willing to just go and get close, terrify, Nats as well, Light as well, to set things up for Emman.
That's a good point. Just keep throwing bodies and just have a great way of burst.
Not only that, but just again, the fact that you have to work against having a Terizla that can either peel for you or initiate for you, and then still keeping Light where he needs to be. That's what makes it harder, for Onic Philippines to actually find the Ixia here for getting Emon down. And a lot of these situations, once again, really depends on some of these angles that they look for, and that's where you see really teams start to kind of punish or shine with the conceal plays and look for their own angles to go for, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. You can see even Cram not a part of this. Lord is just going to reset for now, but RSG, they do have kind of the prerogative here to start this fight if they want to, right? And getting a feathered airstrike out from Escalera right now kind of gives them this advantage if they want to go ahead and fight this.
Will they go for it, though? Cram on the death bush again. Oh, Light caught him. Oh, we're looking at the damage of Ammon right now, using that ultimate full barrage right onto Cram. Okay, no ultimate.
Yeah, that's good news for Onic.
Okay, this now will be a good start. Nats with a 3-man penalty zone. Right onto 4. Now he's still sustaining it, though. Wow, Irad finally secures the Lord. Cram takes down Light as well. Disengage right away.
And they only
Light was the casualty. Oh, wow. Cautious. approach here, and we're heading in for a pause.
Ooh, only Light falls, and a hell of a flicker penalty zone coming in from Nats. 3 men, I think, close to 4. That was him. He set that up single-handedly, and RSG said, "Thank you, Nats. We'll take care of the rest."
Yeah, there was. I love when you break down that fight. There was some juggling, obviously, of the ultimates being used right on both sides, and it was also just the information, the knowledge that they had. Okay, at least for right now, Escalera does not have that feathered airstrike, which is probably some of the biggest threat damage-wise that we have to deal with. So they just made the call, man, just use the penalty zone, jump in, get what you can. And, you know, surprisingly, too, even though they were able to secure that Lord, it was only Light that went down. So that fact, at least they hold on to the majority of their members, and then they can kind of recalibrate here as they approach this push, right? Now, I still think that the clear is great for Onic Philippines. They should be able to handle this actually relatively well, maybe even maintain. Let's say they actually maintain 2 of the 3 base turrets, or if they can maintain all 3 because of the shields as well, right? The damage, especially on Nets, hasn't necessarily been seen 100% yet in a team fight, just because he's had some trouble getting in position. So I think as long as Onic Philippines finds a way to either go for their own positioning, or maybe it's their time here, Redmar, where it's like, all right, we just wait for RSG Philippines to make a mistake and then we punish them.
Yeah, and they have the lineup for it. And you did mention it. The reason why Bruno's having such a hard time is because, again, it's the idea of RSG just throwing bodies.
Well, speaking of throwing bodies, he throw his own ultimate there. The good amount of burst as well. For Escalera, though,
I'm
back
pretty
to
sure
base.
there's a universe where he got that kill onto Escalera. Yeah, Escalera was just able to get out of the Thorn Rose just in time.
Okay.
All right. As they get prepped up here, again, this Lord going to the top side. RSG Philippines in a good position, even item-wise, to push into the base here. So Onic Philippines, work cut out for them. How do they pull this off? Once again, they got to be able to play around the fact that Nats has the penalty zone. Great thing, though, is he does not have the flicker, so he can't completely surprise them, but Light can, right? We've seen Light do it before, especially with the flicker onward combination. They might just go ahead, you know what? Let's get to our base, deal with this. You can see Cram putting a lot of pressure on the bottom there, trying to keep that under control, leaving the team here to defend in this base as this Lord has to be worked with. They do finally get that turret down. Onic Philippines still holding on to the 2 that they have because of those waves cut. Also in the bottom, they're going to make quick work of the Lord. And so we find ourselves once again at this situation. RSG Philippines still holding on to a relatively big gold lead right now.
Yeah. Still a good wave clear. A good amount of defense against RSG.
Yep.
You don't want to miss. Oh, Rabbit was in a small pixel there. Nats probably he spotted him right onto the bush.
Yeah, I think also acknowledgement from RSG that Light wasn't able to fully check it, and so I think they sent Nats to like, hey, go ahead, can you check that, force it back, and they did. And yeah, so with Onic having all the wave clear in the world, now it's going to be a change of pace, and now it's RSG. The question of have they learned from the mishap that they had in game number 1, wherein they were in the lead, they just needed to not do anything too greedy. And now it's just going to be just that. Now, they have everything they need to set things up for Eman to do really well here. They just have to acknowledge that if they're going to dive and enter, if Escalera is able to freely toss outside-their airstrikes, that's not going to be good news for them. They have to watch out for that. But at the same time, if it's not going to be a flicker onward from Light, it's definitely going to be a flicker earth shatter to increase the chances of getting maybe 3, 4, hey, if you can, maybe 5 members of Onic knocked up in the air.
I'm wondering, too, where, what is actually Cram's role here for Onic Philippines, Redmar? I mean, aside from, he's putting a lot of pressure on the on the side lanes, but really, is he just the damage sponge for this? Like, how does he approach these fights here, especially now that this Lord's coming off?
Yeah, it's harder to see now in the late game, but earlier you saw that RSG were throwing a lot of members onto the lane, onto the XP lane, just to take down Cram. I think Onic were thinking of just, okay, they're going to do that. We're going to try to turn our attention to the gold lane to help him out. But obviously, they weren't able to get the dream situation that they wanted. So now he's just there clearing lanes, and eventually he's just going to be going after M, and if the other members of Onic can't get after him to apply pressure onto their marksmen.
Okay, well, right now they're getting a position for this. Cram making his way to this Lord dance. both teams being very
Oh
careful.
no,
how they
Rapidu
approach
got
it.
spotted. Full barrage right onto him. Use the bouncing ball to have a defense, to have a safe passage out. They just forced out a feather airstrike onto Onic. Okay, 3 ultimates down though.
Wow.
Whew. And also, same for RSG. Okay. Same thing as well, but they're looking for a way to get this Lord as well. That's on half HP. 4 members of Onic present. The waves coming in, all lanes present. Who's gonna get this Lord? Who's gonna get this kill? What is the problem? What is the damage? Iran secures the objective and Ryzen goes with a follow-up now with a change. With a trade. There's a pursuit.
They have to
Look
run.
at the damage. Onto Nets, connecting it with a full barrage. Look at the response, Emma. Look at the damage. Will be enough though. Oh, look at that full disengage. Nats is the only one who fall down for RSG. No man. No man down for Onic.
Hell of a team fight. Hell of a response by both of these two. The retro battle won by Irad. Onic, on the other hand, they read the situation well. It hurt them that they couldn't get Eman. And that's a testament to Eman's positioning there, that he was alive. Because if he was low and he didn't have that barrage up for him, Onic could have chased down RSG and maybe even wiped them out.
Yeah.
So it's good news for RSG that Eman was able to stay alive there. But don't count Onic out just yet. This is still a very close game.
It's this series alone, we've seen this situation so many times.
Yeah.
5,000-6,000 gold lead for one of these teams. They end up finding wins in certain situations, especially around these lords, and they can turn things around, right? Onic Philippines, yes, they did have to deal with the lord, and they made quick work of it. But one thing that was very apparent as this potion has just picked up, Nets damage is scary, right? If you're RSG Philippines, and it seems like it's a little bit. You know, if you're comparing the heroes, Ixia and obviously this Bruno, it's a lot easier for Nets to just kind of pop off and damage, right? And also using the worldwide here. They just kind of also have to wait for that full barrage to really go away. And I just feel like the way that this kind of crit modifier and everything else works with Bruno, it's a lot easier to pump out the damage that you need to, right? So RSG Philippines knows that they have to handle that. I don't know if we see one of these teams really pressing a forced fight here, though, because now that you're nearing this 20-minute mark, these death timers get a lot more serious. They're actually going to do it on Cram, of all people.
Oh, look at the jump. A good setup, though, by Rapidu. That's Nets. Taking down Ear at a crucial pickup. Oh, Onic Philippines finding a way to take out the jungler of RSG.
Yeah, I was scared that would happen. The moment I saw Irad was loading up the animation of the Phantom Execution, I was thinking, oh, Irad, you don't want to do that.
No.
But then it was committed, and Rapidu and Onic, quick response. Ultra fast with how they decided, hey, let's just go after that jungler, and now it's 5v4.
5v4 indeed. Onic now broke down the second turret in mid. Late armor pickup, though, from Light. They would still want to defend this. 1.2k now in the lead, now completely disappearing from RSG.
They made quick work of that lead that was gained by RSG, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this has been kind of the trend of just this series alone. So they'll go ahead and clear up the lanes that they need to, which is the top side. That turret is down for for Onic Philippines. They'll go ahead and clear that. They'll go ahead and now get in position for this lord. This is going to take a little bit longer, of course. This is the fourth one, much stronger that they have to deal with. But still, so far, if you're looking at it, RSG Philippines has had a great success at locking these in.
Oh, success. The set now has made by Rapidu. The follow-up now is here for Onic to do. Oh, and that's still surviving that. Still, using the Appraiser's Wrath to secure a kill, he forced out the immortality out of Nats. That is just completely insurance for RSG.
Yeah, now RSG are in good position here, but so is Onic. Close enough. Already Rose Gold Meteor picked up by Nets, and also Eman has that onto No More Wind of Nature by Nets. He used it earlier. That's how he survived the damage brought out by Irad. This could be anyone's game, and it could boil down to one mistake.
Oh, speaking of mistake, Ram is just looking forward to zone the members out of RSG. Meanwhile, Feathered Airstrike's being committed right now to peel the members of RSG. Who gets it? It's Ryzen! He secures the Lord! Now it's go time for damage for RSG. While the next target is Nets! Escalera, Eman as well! Making a double! Taking down Cram! 2 members down for Onic, and RSG completely looking for a way to trade that objective.
1-2. 1-2, and their marksman is still up. The Edith is back. They can just clear this Lord real quickly, and somehow, can they? Will they actually try? They don't have the Farsight to go up against. It's just a Fred, it's just a Kufra, and it's a Bruno. Can they actually do this, RSG?
Ryzen poking Aqua, using the Terrify to peel him off. Light, though, is falling low. Ryzen secures the kill. And Lord as well.
Amon alone.
Amon alone just by himself, and Iran is here as well. Look at that, Thoros connecting onto Nets. Full barrage! No damage, no enemy to connect to. Aqua! Taking down one from Onic Philippines, and Nets looking for a trade. They're finally getting secure kill. Aqua though. Irad forced out a puncture man, back and forth. Tug of war, Onic Philippines and RSG.
Wow, what a tug of war. You mentioned it perfectly, that back and forth.
Back and forth they went, and you can feel even those decisions that they have to make. You don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off or not, because Irad looked like he was hungry for the kill, realized he shouldn't overcommit, and this is what we were talking about. Now Irad, once again, look at the damage.
Ow, ow, ow. I am feeling that, bro. Rapid damage. And just Nets.
You know, I was so surprised that Nets actually had the Wind of Nature picked up. So what happened was, in that long sequence, Nets used, going all the way back to the start of the Lord, Nets used the Wind of Nature, and then he bought Rose Gold. He sold the Rose Gold, and then bought back the Wind of Nature just in time to not get taken down there by Irad, and it led to this little exchange here. The tension in the air of this game right now, it's absolutely palpable, and it's a hell of a game these two are showing.
I am feeling it by just being here in the caster's desk.
I feel it now, Mr. Krabs.
Well, again, this is our first, well, it's only the second series so far, but it's a great series going 3 games. And it's so far, like if you look at game 1, game 2, it's been back and forth between these two amazing teams, and now it's coming down to like who is going to be able to close out this series, right? And some of these interactions between these team fights and everything is, it might seem messy, but it's a lot of just kind of baiting, right? They're trying to get the other opponent or even gold laner to gold laner to try to force movements towards them and then punish that decision, right? That's what's happening here. And it just really comes down to very amazing micro skills from both of all these players, really. Now Light's going to go in for Cram here. Still, they get the Consecrate out. And this is what you expect to see, right? If they can get a pick off before this next Lord, then great. This is the 5th Lord now, so it gets even harder here. And still, they're also working with these lanes, pushing on those side lanes of the turrets that they have. Actually, no, it's only Onic Philippines that has that turret down. No, plus RSG Philippines has the mid one down. So working around that, it's getting even harder here. Now you can see the junglers getting in position. The rest of the teams will look at the bush, though it could be troublesome. Ooh. Couple pokes here, and that's going to be a reset.
Yeah, okay. 2 things that we know for a fact. Number 1, Nets will have the Wind of Nature, he'll hold on to it, and he'll wait for Irad or any physical damage dealer of RSG to enter. For Eman, he has the Blade of Despair, and because of that, he's saving his ultimate, that barrage, either for mid or late into the team fight to clean things up. So with those timings understood and known by these 2 teams, they have to play around that too alongside all the other situations around the map that you mentioned nicely.
Light. The that's the flicker, that's the combo. But Ryzen though tried to poke in with an exchange of damage. Eman using that full barrage damage onto Onic Philippines. Responding in. They're gonna retreat back. But still, Nets falls down in the hands of Irad. RSG gone mad. Taking 2 down. And now they force Onic Philippines back to their base.
Wow, what a turn of events there in that team fight. The power of that full barrage to take down multiple members, if not pop the immortalities. Irad to come clean up. Now they're looking to just punch this one in.
Can they punch this one out though? Rapid. Look at the damage onto Eman. Will he be able to make the safety though? Cram as well being in the front line of Onic Philippines. Look at that, still only on immortality pop. Now it's on the base and it's destroyed. And RSG. Wow.
Second series of MPL Philippines Season 12. RSG showing their glory form. A good show of sportsmanship. A thumbs up by Irad and a win for RSG.
Thumbs up.
Wow.
You know, also great to see Onic Philippines in high spirits there. They fought their hearts out in that series. They should be proud, right? Again, a lot of people are wondering what tricks what tricks are there for Onic Philippines, and I feel like this was a very good showing of what they're capable of here, because it did look very threatening to the Raiders, right? Again, this I feel like what we saw from game 1 to game 2 and then game 3, it could have been anybody's game, right? It really could have come down to that, but RSG Philippines able to pull through, and I love to see it again. Another hero that has gotten a win, at least in this first day, that you're not typically seeing. Now we have we have the Gord, now we have the Iksha, right? And this is great because it looks like it could work really well in certain team compositions.
Yeah, and I like how RSG, with them showing the Gord and then also showing the Ixia, they look well prepared. It's like they've cooked it up for a long time. It's like, oh, it's ready to serve, Chef Rapidude. That they know what pieces to put around it and how to play around it. Eman was very controlled there on that Ixia. And as Onic take their bow, a great showing here for their debut game, as you mentioned, Naisu. But the new picks coming in from RSG here were the X factor and the difference maker in the series.
Loved it. I think too at the same time, I know OSX was surprised also to see the Ixia pop up, because this is a hero that we have been wondering about ever since it came to basically the game. And now, but I still leave it to question, right? Is it really a solid choice, or is it similar now to the Gord? And I personally, after seeing that first game, I would say it's similar to the Gord, right? It fits in niche situations, and it could be very deadly, especially, again, I feel like one of the hardest parts there, especially as we saw that last kind of Lord fight play out, was trying to even get to the Ixia because of the full barrage. Like, that front threat of damage is tough to deal with, but still, I gotta say, it's up to debate, I feel like. Still, does Ixia work? Does it not? But what I love is, once again, we're in this meta where all this experimentation, all these crazy kind of picks can pop up, because I still think even later, today's series, the last one for today, we're still going to see some surprises. And as much as we, have watched even AP Bren, and we feel like we know, like what they're going to go for and everything, I feel like similarly, they are holding on to some of these choices, some of these picks for MPL Philippines alone, and that's what we're seeing here, right? The other thing, too, is just the amount of, I feel like, mastery now. Like, now that we're in Season 12, these Lord dances have gotten even more crucial, right, for the most part. You see teams actually opting, giving 3 turtles away for some matches, right? And then they just go and secure those Lords here. So I think it's working great.
That match.
I am lost for words there, even in the ending.
Yeah.
They were completely holding it, but at the same time, they can't actually completely hold everything.
Yeah, at that point, RSG just had everything set up for them to just steamroll all over it.
Is this part of what we used to call all the time the Panda puzzle? Coach Panda's puzzle? Is he added like to the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
Wait, when did Panda Puzzle happen? I know Panda Mentals, but
Yeah, the Coach Panda's puzzle, man.
whoa!
You never.
Why am I blanking on this?
I mean,
I like it. I like it. Panda Puzzle. Okay.
Panda puzzle. Okay.
I literally heard Panda Puzzle in Season 8.
Season 8?
Yeah.
The puzzle, his Rubik's Cube back.
Yeah.
Remembering in Season 8, and also the Pandamentals.
Yeah.
I know
All
Panda
of them
Mentals.
working together.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is this like part of that? Because, now even with some of the changes that have happened with RSG Philippines, like they're making it work, man.
Yeah, and RSG are at their best when they're the ones setting things. Obviously, with the other regions starting first, there's a lot of info to take in. But in terms of like setting things within the region, within the Philippines, that again they reached the heights that they did in Season 9 in MSC 2022 because they were brave and they weren't scared to set things, to be the ones to set the standard of how to play the game. And now with them right out of the gate showing that, hey, earlier we saw Echo show out their Bruno. Okay, we can show our other picks too. We have the Gord, we have the Ixia, and we won't be afraid to show it.
Love it. And, I can't wait to see what more they have. So I think we are going to be throwing it over to Mara on stage to hear from our winners, RSG Philippines.
Thank you, casters. All right, everybody, GG. There you have it. First of all, welcome back, Ako. Let's give him a round of applause. Sobrang ganda rin ang ginawa mo. Alam mo, hindi ko alam kung napansin nyo, itong seryeng to talagang balagbagan. May mga nagtitipi na kinarma, lalo na nung game number 2. Tapos nakita nyo ba yung nangyari dun sa Lord? At dahil sa ginawa mo with your Gord, by the way, the return of Gord also sa MPL, Naisu will be very proud of you. Naisu kasi ang galing mag-Gord din eh. So let's talk about yung ginawa mo nung game number 2. Not only is it the return of Gord, it's the return of Aqua!
Ano po?
How is it like being back?
Excited po.
Excited, effective.
Opo.
And nung nalaman mo na babalik ka ulit nung season 12, ano yung reaction mo? Ano yung mga unang sentence na sinabi mo nung tinawag ka ni Coach?
Yung time po na babalik po ako kasi yun po. Sobrang gigil po ako ngayong season. Gusto po bumawi. Yung time na nagpahinga po, gusto po bumawi sobra. Tapos sobrang gigil po din ako ngayon.
Si Aqua, lagi talagang silent yan, but very efficient and effective. Let's give him another round of applause. Welcome back. We're really glad to have you back. At may napansin din ako, Nats. Nats, come on over here. Nats! Hindi ko alam kung narinig mo, may nagra-rap dyan tungkol sa'yo kanina eh. Last season, you were very quiet, very serious. Pero this season, nakita niyo ba yung player entrance ni Nats kanina? Ibang energy. We can tell you're really confident, may movement. What's different with Nats ngayong season 12?
Para sa akin, ganun pa rin po eh. Ganun pa rin po yung moral ko. Tapos pag-ugali ko, ganun pa. Tapos hindi ko ma-explain eh. Basta,
Para mas lumalabas yung kulit mo ngayon. What is it? Is it because nandito na ulit si Aqua? Like, what is it? What's happening?
parang ganun na rin po. Tapos yung sa kaninang game namin, sa laban namin kayo nasa Onic, wala eh, medyo mainit eh kasi natipi sila eh. Tapos yun, doon ako sumayaw sa'yo. Sorry sa magiging weird yan.
Alright, if you can share kung ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ngayon ng RSG. If we have a different goal from previous season, meron ba tayong ibang type of motivation ngayon? What would that be?
Nung season 11 kasi parang yung goal lang namin is makapag-MSC ulit. Now kasi parang gustong abutin ni Coach Panda yung M5. Tapos ngayong this season maganda yung lineup namin sila. Irad, Aqua, bumalik na yung pinakamalakas na mid dati. Yan lang po.
And there you have it. And I'm so confident with the way coaches guide his players. Talagang they're gonna get closer to fighting for that M5 slot. Now, meron tayong i-announce which is the MVP of this game. Can you guys guess who it is? Sino? Sino ulit? Naririnig ba sa camera? Ulitin. They're saying it's Eman, the man, and the MVP is? Let's reveal it. Eman! Eman! Nasaan ka? Punta ka dito. Uy, ganda ng ginawa mo kasi first ick siya of this season, season 12. Alam mo, not a lot of people use that. Yung mga casters nga natin, lalo si Rockhart, na talagang nahihirapan siya. They're really struggling to survive with Iksha, pero you made it so effective. In fact, you were untouchable. How do you make it work? And what is it about Iksha that you find na confident kang gamitin yon?
Pinapauna ko lang po lagi yung mga kampi ko na mag-initiate. Tapos inisip ko lagi yung threat sa akin para walang makakahuli sa akin. Ayun lang ba?
Bakit yung iba nahihirapan pero ikaw parang hindi talaga mahirap para sa'yo? Kasi not a lot of people use that kasi nga they feel like they can't survive as long. Pero ikaw, sobrang effective.
Kasi lagi ko pong iniisip sa akin lagi yung threat sa akin kung sinong kayang pumatay sa akin. Kaya yung position lang lagi kailangan.
So you look at the threat.
Aba,
Who did you have your eyes on kanina?
ano po?
Who did you have your eyes on kanina? Yung
Sa
biggest threat.
Cupra po. Cupra lang. Kasi yun lang pong kayang mumuli sa akin. Yung iba wala na.
Eto, yung mga fans mo nandun kayo na pa sinisigaw yung pangalan mo. Eman sila ng Eman. What do you have to say to the people who are supporting you?
Thank you sa mga sumusuporta sa akin tsaka sa RSG. Patuloy niyo pa rin kami suportahan hanggang sa matapos yung season. Tsaka sa mga nag-effort pumunta dito, shoutout sa inyo lahat.
Thank you so much. And once again, Congratulations to RSG Philippines. You may now take your bow and take your walk of victory. Everybody, GG! GG! One more time, GG! RSG taking today's win. At kitang-kita nga naman ang confidence ni Nats, ang pagbalik ni Aqua. And we're looking forward to what else RSG has to offer ngayong Season 12. Hihimayin natin yan para sa inyo lahat, kaya babalikan na natin ang ating casters. Pasok!
Thank you so much, Mara, and it's great to once again hear from RSG Philippines. There a lot of growth, I feel like, on that team. You know, not to mention Nats is like tall as... I think he's as tall as me now. It's kind of crazy. Like
he's getting even taller.
He had a growth spurt even again after having another growth spurt from a season ago. So, and I think it is also a good indication of like how much he's grown as a player.
Yeah, speaking of players growing, we heard in the interview back in Aqua, he's just so happy to be back, and as well as he's hungry to have this way of having a way of to go back in MSC to either go back on it again.
Yeah.
I just can't get over that game. It's right in my head. Now, analysts, Ramor, take it away.
Yeah, sure. I'm ready. Okay, so, wow. I love what was showcased there between these two teams. Again, the relationship between the EXP laners, the Uranus-Terizla matchup as well, set a lot of the standard here in terms of their presence and in the team fights. The MVP of the game there was Irad. Because of his victories in terms of those retry battles. Very crucial as well to the success of RSG. But the Uranus and Terizla factor here, again, because of Onic picking up that Uranus, eventually it just got to the point where the Terizla will be a more active presence in not just in the map, but in terms of what's getting played in the game. Eventually, you saw there, Nasus Terizla became the setup option actually for RSG and would be catching Onic off guard. But let's go back to the earlier portions of the game and what Onic did right to take control of it. Yes, they were able to, number one, Nets, credit to him to winning that first exchange, that very first minute exchange up against Eman to send him back, force rotations there, and then for the rest of the map to just be looking better for Onic because of how well they were able to rotate, the catches from Rapidut, how Ryzen was also applying pressure onto Irad's jungle to force out retributions, and so it was good for Onic. Now for the side of RSG, they just, again, reached the point where they understood, hey, this is how Onic liked to team fight. And again, a credit to the brilliant itemization of Eman. Mirko has been saying this for a very long time now. And of course, we've been saying it for a very long time as well. He's such a great itemizer. Hopefully I said that right. He picks the right items at the perfect moments.